Welcome to the Young Money Podcast with Ross Murray.
So in today's episode, I have with me Matt McGregor. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ross.
So you just got back from Hawaii, checking out the Pipe Masters. How was that?
It was good. Spent nearly 2 weeks over there. Went for Pipe. Saw 2 days of it, the Invitational, and then 1 day of round one.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time just lounged around on the beach and did nothing.
First time there?
First time there as an adult.
Yeah.
My family took me over there when I was 10 or 11, and I barely remember much of what I did when I was 10 or 11. So it was nice to get in there with fresh eyes,
Awesome.
adult concept, and be able to drink beers.
Yeah. And you see much of the surfing or not?
Saw the Hawaiian locals, so they get 2 invitationals. So 32 of the Hawaiian boys line up, so I saw them absolutely tear it apart.
Yeah.
And then saw round one, 12 heats, and then it was done pretty much. The rest of the days it was literally too big to surf.
Yeah, right.
It was blown out. It was just...
And get a couple of good surfs in?
Surfed a wave called Sunset when it was absolutely giant, and it was terrifying. Yeah, got a few good sessions where I realised, where the next level is in kind of bigger surf.
Yeah.
And what we get here is really nothing compared to what else is out there.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how do you usually introduce yourself? What's your kind of spiel?
My spiel to clients or just to someone I meet randomly?
Just to someone you meet.
I don't really focus on me at all.
Yeah.
I go, hey, I'm Matt, what's your name? Nice to meet you. And then, it inevitably ends up with, what do you do?
Yeah.
Directed at them or some form of that. And then I'll just focus on them until they think to ask about me. And we go from there.
If they do ask, what do you do?
I say I'm a mortgage broker. And most people go, what's that? And, from there, I help people find a home loan, essentially. It's really as simple as that.
And how long have you been doing that?
Just over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy it? Interesting?
It's good. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's harder than you think to get a loan through for a lot of people. They have weird jobs, weird income, stuff like that. So you're always learning, and banks are always changing, what they'll accept. So it's kind of a never-ending cycle. Best bit about it is just meeting new people, building relationship with people and guiding them through what is a pretty stressful process.
Definitely.
For a lot of people buying a house.
And usually the first time as well? Like first timers or?
They're my favourite clients because with them it's a real education piece. They know nothing. The real estate agent generally will shut up shop and stop talking to them once they've signed the contract.
Yeah.
The conveyancer generally won't do much except talk through the legal stuff, so that it often falls on me and other brokers to kind of hold their hand throughout the process and tell them it's going to be okay. So first home buyers would be my favourite clients, but deal with pretty much everything you can imagine. A guy on his 5th property, someone just looking to get a cheaper interest rate, consolidating a few credit cards that have been built up over Christmas, and then strategies for planners as well. So that could be setting up equity so that the planner can then invest that as part of a financial plan. So it's pretty different.
Pretty broad.
Yeah.
So what's your background? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Grew up on the Sunshine Coast, a little beach town called Markula.
Okay.
Moved to Brisbane as soon as I finished high school and started studying accounting and finance. My dad's a planner, and I finished high school and I went, but what am I going to do? And then I just figured I've been listening to my dad talk about financial planning all my life. I'll head in that direction, but I'll start off with accounting. Spent 3 years doing that, so I started off with a double degree. Full-time, yeah. First semester in, failed a couple of subjects, which meant that I had to...
Excellent.
As it happens.
Uni life,
Uni life, turned 18. Not really being fully committed to something made it pretty easy to forget about the uni stuff. So I did that, and then 2.5 years ago, Well, it'd probably be 3.5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to get into full-time work. I figured I could do uni part-time, and
So did you graduate?
hadn't graduated yet.
Yeah.
I switched my degree over to financial planning.
Okay.
I wanted to be a planner,
Yeah.
and there was a few different entry points into the industry. So my dad's a planner, so it wasn't going to be that hard for me to get an in. So I figured I'll do financial planning, and then that'll guarantee me, or to mean someone will hire me knowing that I'll eventually come into planning.
Yeah.
Got a job with a planning business based down in Lutwyche, in North Brisbane.
Okay.
Just doing the para planning, so essentially just preparing all the paperwork and stuff for a planner
Yeah.
to present to their clients. He goes, "What are you doing? Switch back to accounting, do your financial planning diploma in 4 months instead of 2 years,
Yeah.
and you'll be good to go in 5 months, and just do uni part-time. There's no rush on that." And that's the tune I took. And then 2.5 years ago, an opportunity came to do mortgage broking. So I jumped on that, and
Yeah.
here I am.
So you're still studying at the moment?
Still studying. I've been doing literally a subject a semester for the
Okay.
past 2 years.
So you started off accounting
Yep.
and then changed to financial planning?
Started off accounting and finance,
Yep.
and then switched to accounting and marketing.
Yep.
Then switched to marketing, financial planning, and switched back to accounting, marketing. Yeah.
So that's what you're on now at the moment?
That's what I'm on now. I've got 2 subjects left, and then done and dusted.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How long's that? When will you graduate from that?
One more semester, so
Yeah.
mid next year.
Excellent.
It's funny because it's not even a priority
Yeah.
for me at the moment.
And that's what, just done all online?
I still go to Griffith,
Yeah.
so I still go on campus, go to classes when I can, get after hours classes. Otherwise, I act like it's online, just submit my assignments, go to the exams, and just watch all the lectures online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how have you found that, the working and the uni? Doing uni part-time, working full-time?
It's hell if you're doing 4 subjects and working full-time.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bad time. You're not going to have any balance. You're not going to find time for anything else but uni
Yeah.
or work. Doing one subject it's 5 or 6 hours a week extra,
Yeah.
and I still have time for all the other stuff I love doing in life.
Perfect. So what would you recommend that route for people? Doing the work full-time, earn some money, and then do uni part-time? Or what's your thoughts on that?
It depends on the industry. My industry it's all kind of experience based.
Yep.
Same with financial planning with what you do. You can get into the industry and start working before you have your degree, and down the line, employers are going to probably rate that higher
Yeah.
than someone who's got spent 4 years at uni, got the best grades, but has no experience. So for certain degrees, I'd say do both.
Yeah.
Part-time uni, get into the industry that you want to get into and start working. For other degrees, if you want to be a doctor, you got to go to uni.
You got no choice.
Yeah, if you want to be a physio, you got to go to uni. Accounting, you could still jump in early. Most jobs you'll be able to jump in early. So it's really up to the person. I like the route that I took,
Yeah.
but everyone's different.
And that transition into leaving uni, so jumping back a little bit, leaving uni and going into work full time.
Yeah.
How have you found that? You happy with that decision? Yeah.
Really happy.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was doing uni full time and working a retail job on weekends. So there really wasn't any kind of downtime. And then, moving into full time work, you get your weekends off. So straight away there was 2 days a week that were free, just to do whatever I wanted. It was good. I liked it. Yeah.
And you touched on a little bit before, but your job at the moment, so 9 to 5,
Yeah.
kind of Monday to Friday work, going out and seeing clients, helping them buy the house.
Yeah.
Obviously, you said you like dealing with people. That's the main driver for you?
I think so. Yeah. Once you understand mortgages and how they work, the numbers aren't that complex.
Yeah.
It's really just getting that education that's key. So that's kind of fun doing that, but it gets pretty easy and straightforward after a while. So yeah, for me, it's all about meeting new people, trying to build some sort of connection and trying to service the hell out of them,
Definitely.
to make it nice and easy for them. I think moving forward that's the focus. if I can have someone doing all the back end stuff for me and I can just focus on the clients on the front end,
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm going to excel and, where I'm going to give the most value to, either my business down the line or
Definitely.
the business that I work for at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your game plan kind of moving forward? You reckon you'll stay in your current role, or once you get your degree, will that change things? Or
Degree will not change a thing. Graduating with a degree in accounting, I don't want to be an accountant.
Yeah.
I plan on sticking where I am for a while. I've got a great mentor who really knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty critical in our industry. There's not a lot of education that banks provide on how to do things the right way.
Yeah.
So I've found a mentor that I'm happy to stick with for a while. Scoping forward more than 2 years is pretty tough. I don't know what I'll do past that. Eventually, I'll own my own business.
Yeah.
But it's nice to take some of the risk off the table now.
Definitely.
And not have the risk of owning your own business.
So that I might touch on that key point of having a good mentor.
Yeah.
How have you obviously that's a big part of it.
Huge.
Would you recommend that to other people, especially other young people starting out?
100%. I've got a few friends that are graduating now, and I've started taking a line at questioning with them because I'm a bit of a weirdo like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, goes, what are you looking for in your new job? They talk about money, somewhere that does the type of field they want to do. And I've slowly started to work them into, no. What you need is someone who's willing to teach you.
Definitely.
And walking in there with a mindset to learn. Because if you've got someone who's invested in you, that's experienced and knows what's going on and knows how to handle things and knows how to deal with, unplanned events in your day-to-day, you're going to learn so much quicker than everybody else.
And the job you're in now and the person you're working for, was that a key driver in you working for that person?
Yeah.
Or was that just an added bonus that you found the right person?
No. My boss is probably going to listen to this, but I tactically, I had a couple of offers and I picked it mainly around the mentorship.
Yeah, great.
And just seemed like really nice people, small family business. I didn't want to work for a franchise or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it was, mentor was the number one thing. Prior to that, I was pretty much on my own. I was working for a guy. He offered no support. So the first year was just chaos.
Yeah.
You're not knowing how to deal with situations and just running by.
And how old were you at that stage when you first started?
22.
22.
Yeah.
So pretty critical to have that kind of support, have that someone there telling you, supporting you, guiding you.
100%. I mean, at the same time, a good way to learn is to be thrown into the deep end.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year, and then I go, okay, now I need somebody who can show me the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Show me the right process to follow, how to manage the back end of stuff, how to generate good referral sources, how to, deal with customers on the front end. I didn't really have any process.
Yeah.
So that was a big kind of a thing, a big checkbox that I needed to tick off.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And working in the small business, you're probably exposed to a lot more than if you went and worked in a bank, sat there and just saw people kind of day in, day out. See a lot more from what needs to happen across the business.
You do. Basically, in my field, you follow a file from when you see the client through to the loan settling.
Yeah. And
there's, in a bank, there's probably 10 different people doing that same job. So if you go work in a bank, you might only see one part of that process for 2 years. You might get a promotion, but you're kind of in a dead end. Whereas if you do go work for a small business, you're going to see the whole thing.
Definitely.
You have to. They don't have the resources to only sit you in a specific role.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge advocate of small business. I've never worked for a big institution, so I have no experience there.
Yeah.
There's probably some benefits, I'm sure there are, but I like the small business
Excellent.
route.
So from a financial perspective, obviously you're dealing with numbers, dealing with people's lives, dealing with people's dreams, obviously the Australian dream of buying a house.
Yeah.
What impact do you see money having on your life, your clients' lives, friends, family? What's your view on money?
It's all about control. So if they have control of their money and their goals around money, and they, those goals are based around what they want to do with their lives, and they actively kind of work towards those goals, people are happy. There's no issues. There's nothing going on. Their money works for them. It doesn't dictate them. But when people have no control, they don't understand, what they're doing with their money, what they're spending it on, what they're saving for, then it can become a pretty kind of scary week to week thing for people. So for me, it's all about control. You know, the added benefit, like you, of being in the finance industry, you get a pretty, quick lesson on what control looks like in terms of a nice retirement or buying a house at 24. You see all the steps before you, so it's hard to justify doing the wrong thing. But for a lot of people, they just don't get the education. They don't know what to do or why they're doing it. So a lot of the time, money's a scary and stressful part of people's life.
Definitely. And where do you think that we're going wrong in that sense? Like, obviously I see it in my world that education's just not there for young people and for old people as well. Like, we obviously deal with younger people here, but we also deal with some older clients. And the media and everyone kind of talks to young people, says, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They're spending money on coffees and avocados and all that type of thing. But you look at older people as well, and they haven't got that education. So it's where would you see as the best part to educate those people from a younger age, at high school, university? Where do you think is the best place?
Definitely school.
Yeah.
It needs to be a compulsory subject, basic money management.
What did you learn at school from a money perspective?
Nothing.
Anything?
Absolutely
Algebra?
zero. I did accounting, I did business. Yeah, I learned how to do equations that I haven't used in school. But I learned nothing around, a good budget, how much you need to buy a house, why, should you invest in stuff? Why would you? Yeah. There needs to be just like a really brief foundational course on that. Like, should you take out a car loan? Or
just what is a car loan?
Yeah.
How do you apply for a car loan?
Yeah. For the older people, I don't know. It's pretty. I think they're kind of left out of any real national change that you want to implement. Yeah. Like, the easiest place to do it would be school. Yeah. The hardest place to do it is going to older people. Their biggest asset is going to be finding a good planner or a good accountant that are willing to teach and rip them off, and that's pretty hard to find.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, what would you say money means to you? What's your thoughts around that?
Just the freedom to live your life the way you want to live it. It all comes back to control in a weird way. If you budget well, if you plan what you want to do, you don't buy stuff before you have the money, and you live towards some sort of goal with money, it's a breeze. So to me, it's all about just understanding why I'm spending what I'm spending, how much it costs me just to live, and then planning towards future stuff. It's a big one for me is buying a house. Yeah. It's so easy to do if you've got the discipline to save up. It's I see it every day, and it's probably that, I guess. It's a weird question though.
Definitely. Everyone has a different understanding. For some people, it's more times than not, it's freedom. Other people, it's options, choices.
Okay.
And for others, it's shit scared. Like, they hate the thought of money. They've grown up in a house where they've never had it. No one's ever talked about it, so it's just a taboo subject, and just the thought of even speaking to someone like myself about money, or someone like you about money, because more times than not, we're the first people that they've ever shown their bank accounts to, or shown their savings accounts to, outside of maybe their spouse. Or
it's almost ignorance is what it means to them.
100%.
It doesn't cross their mind. Yeah.
So you ask that question, and it's the same response you had. It's a weird question, because we never really get asked it.
Yeah, you never really get to define it. It's important, I guess. Yeah,
definitely. So I think you've probably ticked off a few tips already for people wanting to get into the property market. But so controls a big one. And what do you think about the social media? Obviously, we're both quite young. Do you think that people our age are getting impacted by seeing things on social media and seeing the news and thinking, oh, I want to get into the property market, but I can't, it's too expensive. People are buying these things and they want to keep up a certain lifestyle. So you got any thoughts around that?
I think social media is poison in a frank answer. I've pretty much absolved all of it just because it just breeds insecurity. And that often leads to compulsive buying behavior, buying the new clothes, buying all the stuff that you want. Yeah. And, biased agendas out of people. Yeah, I don't think it's a great thing. I'm not sure if it has any impact on getting into the property market.
Yeah.
Other than just it's tempting, all the marketing that comes in. It's really hard to not buy stuff. And if you want to save for a house quickly, you need to get your budget sorted and really stick to it. And, most people spend 3 to 4 hours a day on social media with advertising just in their face. So it's probably setting a lot of people on the back foot, especially because they don't have an understanding of, how possible it is to purchase a property. So they buy all this stuff and,
I see it a lot of times as they compare themselves to other people. So they say, I want to buy a property because my friend bought a property and they're a year younger than me. I earn more money than them. This. I saw them on social media. They go on holiday every 2 years and they bought a property. And my response to that is, well, you don't know their bank account situation. You don't know if that's all on credit card or that's a personal loan.
No idea.
You have no idea. So they're trying to judge it on face value and then trying to compare yourself to other people.
You're trying to judge the best of what people have. And it might be artificial. Like there's a lot of people making good money on Instagram by pretending to be somebody they're not.
100%.
So it's evil. It really is. My suggestion to people and what I plan on doing is just cutting it off.
Switch it off.
Altogether. Yeah, but I guess that's my take on it.
Yeah. Any final tips that you can leave people with? Any bits of words of wisdom for people wanting to buy their first property or get into the property market?
Go see a professional.
Yeah.
I'd suggest a planner like yourself. If you don't know how to budget and you have no control of your finances, what you're doing, the way you structure your advice is beautiful.
Yeah.
People need to come see you, get their budget sorted, and then once they've got that sorted, I'd suggest they see a mortgage broker. Not because I'm a broker, just purely because if you go to a bank, you're stuck with that one bank. And, you might have a weird job or you might have overtime income or you might not have a big enough deposit for that bank, but there's 6 other banks that will gladly lend you money. So seeing a good broker that's willing to educate you, you've got 40 options instead of one. I
think that's a really good point. The fact that they are there to work for you and not the other way around.
Yes.
As a broker, they're going to do the work for you and try and find you the best deal.
Yeah. There's usually zero conflict with most brokers. We find the bank that works for you. We don't try and upsell you on anything. We get you the loan you need. Whereas if you go into a bank, their KPIs, what their value is based on in that job is around upselling. Do you want insurance? Do you want this? Do you want that? So a good broker, a good planner, and I guess a good accountant, if you're self-employed, pretty important.
Definitely.
But I mean, the final tip is just to start thinking about it consciously. Don't just breeze through life thinking it's going to be okay. I'm sure you know the stat better than me, but isn't it something like, 85-90% of people aren't going to retire with any sort of superannuation?
Yeah, it's something scary like that.
Yeah, so start thinking about it now and speak to somebody that can help you, and just put a plan in place so that you can bring back that control.
Definitely. Excellent. All right. Thanks very much. That was very informative. And obviously you mentioned you're not on social media, but where's the best place that if someone wants to get in contact or get some more information from you?
We've of course got a social media page for our business.
Yeah.
Work for Davies Home Loans, Facebook that if you're in the Gold Coast region.
Yeah.
Or just get in contact with Ross and I'm sure he'll be able to point you towards what I do. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks again for being on the show and very informative.
Thank you, Ross. Pleasure.
Cheers, mate.